Now going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Ford recalling about 150,000 vehicles due to a seatbelt issue. Now this comes to us thanks to Mary Waldroth over at USA Today News. They note that it will affect multiple vehicles, and this is a notice from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. They note that the models impacted by this recall include certain models of the Ford Expeditions, the Transits, as well as the Lincoln Navigators. Previously reported recalls involved the Ford Explorers and then the E350 and E450s. Now breaking it down a little bit, it looks like it call report could be 77,574 Expedition Lincoln Navigators due to issues with the seatbelt locking mechanism. Certain 2018 to 2020 model year Expedition vehicles built between October 1st, 2018 and June 30th, 2019, and certain 2018-2022 year Navigator vehicles built between October 1st, 2018 to June 28th, 2019 are affected. According to the recall notice issued by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the seatbelt pre-tensioner or mechanism that controls the tensions and release of the seatbelt may lock in place at inappropriate times on the driver and front passenger seats, preventing it from retracting or extending properly. Now, I was going to say, it's hilarious. You know, there's a little government vernacular, or I was going to say, they specifically say seatbelts that do not retract or extend pose safety risk, which kind of is a little depressing. You have to explain that to some people, which also kind of shows how far perhaps the intellect has declined in the United States. There used to be a little funny meme where they used to actually tell you how to change your timing for your engine back in the day, and now they tell you, there's a giant meme saying, a warning saying, do not drink the acid battery, which, granted, we are also increasingly litigious society with more and more lawsuits, but that's also a little sad as well. Now, they also note that Ford Transit, those vehicles, that recall is coming in around 77,584 of those. And in terms of the year's production, let's see here. And 2022, 2001, E350, E450. Why are the Navigators not? Why are they not expanding that? Oh yeah, they did. And then, yeah, they tell you to go to NHTSA recalls if you want to see if your car is affected, or go to Car Motor Vehicles Recall Database. So again, in terms of the silver lining of the situation, it's not the drivetrain. So it's not the engine or the transmission, which is the most complex, most expensive components of the vehicle to fix, as well as manufacture, incidentally enough. So, and technically the vehicle can still run now and drive. Granted, it's not recommended because obviously as for the safety issues, but can't continue to see Ford in the recalls more and more and more. And granted, it is one of the most complex things you'll ever purchase in your life, one of the most expensive things you purchase in your life. There's thousands of components that go into it, many of which they do not directly manufacture. That's why when you see things like the airbag recalls, like the top airbag recalls, it affected pretty much over 70% of all car manufacturers because, spoiler alert, they all use the same exact model of airbag. So understandably, it's a complex thing, but there's just so many more recalls with Ford, and they keep saying they want to focus on build quality. I don't know how much more they need to put these things through the quality assurance testing department or like that, but again, to have this pain, again, this is a physical thing you need to fix. You need to take it physically to the dealership. It's not like perhaps the only silver lining of electric vehicles and more technology is sometimes it can repair with just a simple software update where it doesn't have to leave your home. Granted, personally, I would say, well, why make it so complex that it even needs that? I don't want bells and whistles. Just let me keep my good old manual transmission, internal combustion engine, and I'll be happy as a bee or something to that effect. But it'll be interesting to see. Again, this doesn't hurt. This doesn't help. It actually hurts, the brand reputation, inconvenience for the consumers. Obviously, it's free, which it's also not good for the shareholders of Ford because it's costing them money because they have to replace the seatbelts. So not just have to buy a new seatbelt, they have to pay an engineer to actually install it. And now the customer has to drive to the dealership, and no one likes doing that. So you either have to spend the day there getting repaired, or maybe they drop it off. Now they have to worry about getting a rental or an Uber or whatever people use to transportate themselves these days. So to have an issue where you have such a big recall for something they were just, to me, they just should have thoroughly tested even more. That certainly is the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback so I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.